Okay, hello and good morning, everyone. Welcome to Easy Markets Daily Pitch International with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today's the 29th of November, 2023. So, welcome, everyone. Welcome to this kind of pre-last day of November, the pre-last day of autumn, guys. So, guys, today is Wednesday. We'll have a look at the charts, the usual stuff. We'll have a look at what's happening in the market. But before we go further, as always, just a quick read through of our risk disclaimer. Not this one. The content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendations and should not be considered as such. This material should not be taken as an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. Look, I'll give you a few seconds to read the rest. I'll disappear from that little left corner and then I'll be back in a bit. Okay, so now then, also just before we jump into the charts, just a quick mentioning of our Easy Markets website, which you can always check out for more information about us. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to us. Yes, we have good deals, I would say. And also, if you're ever considering to become an affiliate, you can reach out to us as well, and you can reach out to me. We can discuss that further. But look, now, without further ado, let's jump into the charts. Though the first one I want to pick up here is Nikkei 225. And Nikkei is drifting lower. I mean, look, in a way, yesterday it did drift lower, and we tested my area, the 38.2% retracement on the Fibonacci, so that's great. What I talked about, I said that, look, we could see a drift towards that area, maybe even a little bit lower, towards the upper side of this previous rising channel formation, which I still have on my chart. We could maybe find some safety for the bulls there. Excuse me. Oh, sorry, my voice today and my nose today everything is blocked, so sorry for that. Coming back to this, for now, I'm not gonna say anything else. I mean, the same analysis is still valid, so I'm still drifting. I'm still aiming for the downside. I want to see if we can get like a decent reversal from somewhere around here. Some of you might say, hey, maybe this 38.2 could be seen as a possible neckline here of a possible head and shoulders pattern. Well, I mean, I wouldn't say anything. I wouldn't discard that idea because yes, I mean, everything is possible, and one of the things to consider. So, if we see a strong hold up somewhere near that 38.2% territory, then maybe a bit of a retracement back up here again could be possible. So basically, this idea could work out. However, I mean, I should be drawing it this way instead. So look, I mean, I don't want to rush into things yet. I mean, I don't want to kind of start thinking of these different crazy ideas. But of course, any crazy idea is possible. Well, history shows, yes. So, long story short, for now, that's my game plan here on Nikkei 225. China 50 index, let's have a look. After a bit of a hold up near this 11,742 territory yesterday, I've redone this, and I said, look, that's great. In general, I'm kind of leaning further south, but I need that confirmation break below the 11,742 territory right here. If that gets cleared, then yes, I will aim for that 11,557, something like that, approximately around here. Basically, that's the lowest point of October. I'm going to be aiming for that one. If I can reach that, great, wonderful. If we can break that, a forthcoming lower low will be confirmed. In order to consider the upside scenario, a break of the downside line here is required, and then yes, more buyers here could join in. ASX 200, so let's have a look at this one. Yes, I mean, recovered. It seems like a temporary pause here. Okay, that's absolutely fine, to be honest. Look, nothing's wrong with this idea, but in general, I mean, I would like to see kind of a further decline, to be honest. So I mean, at the moment, yes, we are seeing some strong reversal, but I would like to see a push back above this territory, back above the 7,064, 65 zone, or maybe this 100-day EMA, just to be a little bit more on the safe side. Also, let's not forget that we still have this downside line drawn from the high of the 27th of July. But from the very short-term perspective, this is where I want to make your lives a little bit more complicated. So basically, we have this downside line here, and it got violated. And in a way, it could, in a way, present itself with a nice opportunity, let's say, for examining the upside scenario in the short run, I would say. Let me just adjust this because I really don't like this. Why is this? I don't like this. There we go. So, so if you're looking for some higher levels, then yes, certainly a push, a push above that little short-term downside line could be the case, and then we could aim for the other downside line. So yes, just kind of keep that in mind. So if you're looking for something a little bit more short-term on ASX 200, guys. So now then, in order to be a little bit more on the safe side with the downside scenario, I would say I will keep an eye on the low of this week, the current lowest point of this week, near the 7,002 mark, or in general, just like that psychological 7,000 mark. And then, yes, if I can get that drop, this will confirm a forthcoming lower low. So let's jump into the Dow. Okay, first of all, actually, I keep on forgetting. Good morning, everyone in the chat room. I hope everybody's having a wonderful start of Wednesday. So yesterday we had a pop here and we moved higher and we stayed above this barrier of this 35,440 zone. I talked about this. So in a way, yeah, it's kind of looking quite positive, I would say. So in other words, there is still potential for some further upside as long as we remain above this territory. Look, this Fibonacci has to go. I will draw it eventually, but certainly I will draw it. But I think that I need some sort of clarity, some sort of a decent reversal move here. So in order to kind of, yes, consider maybe a larger correction to the downside. Look, we have an eventful day today. In terms of the U.S. data, we do have the preliminary GDP figures, which are coming out. So or should I say GDP figures, but GDP Q-on-Q, Q3 figure, price index, sales. So we're focusing on the GDP Q-on-Q for the Q3. That one is expected to come out like at least double. I mean, wow. I mean, if that comes out at least double, guys, I mean, this could continue rallying to the ups. I mean, yes, for now, I mean, I don't know what could stop it. Maybe just December could stop this one, but November for sure, it is not stopping this index and any index. So we continue to rally. So for now, I will say it this way. Looking at the Dow, yes, I'm keeping an eye on further upside. Ideal scenario here is the 35,850 zone, somewhere around here. That's not the all-time high, as you can see, as you know. So we're not far from that. But look, this is the monthly chart, and basically we are approaching the current highest point of this year, and that's, as I said, is around the 35,850 zone. So keep your eyes on that one. The S&P 500. So we're not as positive as the Dow, but it's still nevertheless somewhat okay. So look, this here is working out perfectly. Why? Because I said to you that in order for me to go higher, I need to see a pop above the 4,580 zone right here. This will confirm a forthcoming higher high, potentially attracting more buyers into the game. Now, in terms of the downside, as I said to you, I need to see a drop, and that's the reason why I didn't pick this little hurdle here, the lows of yesterday. And look, I would prefer to wait for a drop somewhere below the 4,540 zone here, and then we could take it from there. In terms of the MACD, which I talked about yesterday, look, this is a good example that you should not rush into things. Yes, you can see that it is now losing momentum here, so losing the upside momentum, so it could jump into downside momentum, so but not yet. We need some confirmation, and I think for me at this point will be the confirmation will be those breaks here, either above this level which I just mentioned, the 4,580, or below this 4,540 zone, and then we'll go from there. NASDAQ 100. So looking at the picture here, yes, we broke the downside line, we pushed higher, so in a way it's kind of pointing a little bit more towards the upside, right? So we're now oscillating around that highest point of this year, or should I say previous highest point of this year, because the current highest point of this year is around 16,173. So we're keeping a close eye on that one. Certainly, that's something to keep in mind. But look, I think that maybe everybody will agree, in order to probably be a little bit more on the safe side, let's wait for a pop above the current highest point of November. And if we can get that, great, more buyers here could join in. Forthcoming higher high will be confirmed, and then we could target slightly higher levels. And I'll go to those if we do get that pop. Let's say for now is just the 16,450 territory that I will be targeting if we do pop above the 16,173 zone. For the downside, yes, a drop below the 15,932 territory here is required. So far, it's providing good support. So in order to consider a larger correction to the downside, yes, a drop below that area and below that hurdle is needed. So let's jump into the German index. Today, just bear with me one moment. I mean, my throat today is not cooperating with me. Okay, guys, so now then, in terms of Europe, today we do have some data coming out from Europe, so keep your eyes on that. So if you are trading the German DAX, then yes, of course, keep your eyes that we do have a bunch of German data which is also coming out. So yes, I mean, we do have the Bavaria CPI, all preliminary numbers, not final, preliminary, but still maybe worth the watch. And then we have the Eurozone consumer confidence, not preliminary, but normal one. Services and industrial sentiments, some numbers, yes. And then after that, we do have the German CPI, the overall German CPI, the preliminary one, not the final one, but the preliminary one. So keep your eyes on that. That could be an interesting moment there. So let's put it this way. The number so far is expected to come out lower and than the previous. And if it does come out even lower than the forecast, then, well, we could see, DAX pushing further north. Let's jump into the FTSE 100. So yes, drifted lower yesterday. So we fell below this little hurdle here, this 7,468. I talked about this yesterday, and I said that I'm going to aim for the lower side of this, which is the lower side of the rising channel, which I've drawn yesterday. And yes, I mean, look, in general, I see this as a bearish indication. However, while we remain inside the pattern, inside the rising channel, it could still drift higher eventually. So long story short, if you're looking for some higher levels, then yes, a push above the 7,535 territory here is required, and then we will go from there. So yes, that's my game plan here. And if you're looking for some lower levels, then yes, wait for a break, basically. So nothing else to say here, nothing else to add. US dollar, there we go, that's what I wanted to get to, and there we go. So beautiful Beautiful move to the downside here, beautiful break, beautiful test of this territory. I talked about this yesterday. I said that, look, if we do test this area again and then rebound from it, then yes, I will consider maybe a push higher. But I think that yes, it's not a range which I initially thought so. I think that this needs to go, no longer needed, because what I said to you, that look, maybe this is, if this is going to break this territory, this 102.86, maybe we could go further south. Now, one thing that I wanted to show you, and I want to come back to this idea which I've mentioned before. Look, whenever we have a strong decline like this and then a gradual decline like that, so let me just put it on the chart. I think this way it will be better. So something like this, basically, whenever we have something like this, then yes, I think this is the moment how to do it. Just a sec. Let me tidy it up a little bit. So whenever we have, like I said, a strong decline like this and then a gradual decline like that, then I kind of tend to I've noticed that we tend to break higher. However, until we get that break through the upper side of this formation, this kind of falling channel, I would say, no, we cannot really get comfortable with any upside scenario, because it could still drift lower. We don't know where the ground will be, where the floor will be. So keep your eyes on that, guys. So it still could drift further south. And in terms of further south, if we do see this one sliding further south, then yes, of course, keeping my eyes on a few levels down here, like the 101.60, 55. Those are quite attractive levels, but hey, let's not rush into things. So looking at the picture here, for extra confirmation, you could keep an eye on the 103.07 territory here as well. And if we do pop above it, then yes, more buyers here could join in. Gold. So gold, wow, yesterday, look at this spectacular move. This has reached all my targets, and look, we do have that 2081 zone, which is kind of the target, the all-time high. And a while ago, I did analysis on gold a while ago this year. You can find it on our platform, and let me just remind myself. I think it was in company news. Yes. So where's that gold? Where's that crude oil? Cash. Earnings kickoff. Where's my gold? Crude oil, wheat, corn, soybeans, central banks. Right. I need to figure out where the hell is my article. But okay, look. Anyway. Basically, my forecast is for a 2001, 2100, 2200 area. So this is what I'm kind of hoping to see, but maybe not exactly, let's say, this year. Maybe that's going to be something for next year, maybe like in the second half of next year or something like that. So just be careful with that, and just keep that in mind. But at the moment, look, of course, everybody's curious, will we overcome the current highest point of this year, which is at the same time current all-time high, so the 2081 zone. And if we can clear that, great. Okay, more buyers here could join in, but at the same time, look, we found good resistance around here near this 2048 zone. And at the moment, we're seeing a bit of a correction, which, to be honest, I think would be logical to see a bit of correction, or let's say not a bit, but like a large correction lower. That would be quite great. But again, I'm not rushing into things, guys. For now, I'm just observing the price action. So yes, if we do pop above the 2048 zone, then, well, guess what? More buyers here could join in, and we could target that 2081 zone. For now, if you're trying to figure out what could we do with this Gold here for the downside. Well, just bear with me one moment. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. Yes, there we go. Winter has come. Apologies for that, guys. So look, if you're looking for some downside on this one, I mean, in general, the safer option is to wait for a drop somewhere below this 2022-21 zone, somewhere around here. Maybe depending on how we're going to trade, maybe we'll see a break of this upside line as well. This would be something as to consider too. But hey, I'm not rushing into things. I'm not rushing into anything yet. So I'm just keeping it short and simple. For now, I'm looking at possible correction lower here. Let's say if we just evaluate yesterday's rally, then maybe we are already near that 23.6. So if we do drop below the 23.6, then of course I'll aim for that 38.2 and so on and so on. But that's if we do want to draw this Fibonacci. If we do want to draw Fibonacci like this, then you can see that this 23.6 is near my 2022 level. So basically everything's kind of pointing out, yeah, there we go. Everything's kind of pointing a little bit more towards the downside. But again, it's a beautiful idea. It's a really nice idea. I would really like it to work out. However, hey, the market doesn't always give me what I want. So that's why I'm going to be very careful with this one, and I'll wait for a pop above the 2048 zone in order to consider the upside. For the downside, I will wait a little bit. I'll see what it wants to do further, and then we'll go from there. Silver, there we go. We reached my target, 25 zone, and a little bit above it. So that's great. Good hold up there. So what's next? Well, next is the possible further move north here. So if you're looking for some higher levels, then certainly a push back above that 25 zone would be required. For the downside, a break of this steep upside line is needed. At this point, look, I think that it is quite reasonable to say that maybe a drop below this little hurdle here, this 24.57, would be nice. So any move lower here could still be classed as a temporary correction before another possible leg of buying. Copper, very quickly. Copper. Look, by the way, guys, if you're, I will still be talking about RBNZ, but I need to get to NZD pairs, and because that's where the action is, and yes, that's where the beauty lies. But copper, look, copper. I've talked about this on Monday, and I said to keep your eyes on this downside line, because if we pop above it, great. You know, more buyers here could join in, and look at this beautiful flag formation. Great, everything kind of worked out nicely. So in a way, I would say I still stick to the idea that maybe a retracement back down, a retest, a revisit of this broken downside line here could be possible. And if we do see a break, below this steep upside line and this back below this downside line, then, well, guess what? Lower levels here could be met. So that's my game plan here for the upside. I'm still kind of considering something like that, not really dismissing any. I'm not dismissing any kind of upside scenario yet, because again, yes, we are correcting right now lower, but still further upside here could be possible for me. And again, of course, I'll repeat myself. The downside scenario for me is on a break of these two trend lines. Oil. There we go, guys. There we go. So if you remember, yesterday I talked about oil, and I said to you that, well, maybe, just maybe, we have ourselves an inverted head and shoulders pattern. And this is what I said on Monday as well. And look, I said that my downside scenario will be from the 73.90 zone. If we get a hold up here, maybe a rebound here could be possible, where we could form a possible right shoulder here. Well, so far, so good. Now, me being very smug about myself right now, because thinking that I have foreseen the future or something like that. No. Why? Because we still need a breakout here through this neckline, and then we can go higher. If we can get that, great. More buyers here could join in, especially if the daily candle, the body of the daily candle, stays above this neckline. So if we can break, then yes, my next target is this downside line drawn from the high of the 27th of September. Because don't forget that still this move higher could be classed as a temporary correction before another possible leg of selling. In terms of, let's say, if this neckline is not a neckline and it is just a trend line which continues to hold, provide resistance, then my downside scenario will be somewhere from around here, from around the 73.90, and if that gets cleared, then yes, I'll aim for that 72.38 marked by the lowest point of November, and if that gets cleared, a forthcoming lower low will be confirmed. Now, NASDAQ. Oh, sorry, NASDAQ. Natural gas. What am I talking about? Natural gas. There we go. Natural gas finally breaking lower. Look, I talked about this. I'm just going to quickly recap on this one. Yes, we broke below this key support area. So I talked about this, and there we go. We have made a nice move to the downside, and to be honest, I'm going to continue targeting the downside, and as long as we remain below this 2.86 territory. My next target will be this 2.6, and then we'll go from there. I need to start up my voice. Ethereum, guys, Ethereum. So as messy as it looks and as it is, I'm still liking the fact that it's getting a hold up in between these two levels, this 2020 and 2020, 2030 levels. So yes, I mean, for now, I will, yes, consider a move to the upside as long as we remain above this territory, which I will probably highlight because I think that this is quite important. So as long as we remain above this territory right there, then yes, I will continue targeting the upside. My next target is this area near the 2140 zone, and then we'll go from there. Ripple. Ripple is, yes, is also trying to make its way higher, but as I said before, there's not much to say or to add. Just to repeat myself, basically, that I will consider higher levels if we do push above the 0.6296. I will consider the downside scenario if we do drop below the 0.5961 right here. And then we'll go from there. Let's jump into a few pairs, guys. AUDUSD, there we go. We pushed higher. Then this morning also we continued to push higher, but then the US dollar started picking up the pace, and there we go. This is what we're getting. We're getting that nice little correction back down, but we remain above this territory, above the 0.661722 levels. So I talked about this. So basically, still so far so good. And if we continue to trade above this territory, then yes, higher levels will be met. So in terms of economic data, look, this morning we didn't get much stuff from Australia, just the construction work numbers, which came out much better. But I think that this pair will remain subject to what's happening in the world and with the US dollar. Tomorrow we do have some housing numbers from Australia. But that's kind of it. I think that the main one will be on Friday. Sorry. No. It's not. So yes, I mean, tomorrow we do have some housing numbers from Australia, so maybe those could give a bit of a move for the market, but I think that for now, mainly it will be subject to US dollar. So as long as we remain above this territory right here, the highlighted one, the top one, and I will continue targeting the upside, where my next target will be somewhere around here, actually, this 0.6715 initially, and then we'll go from there. AUDNZD, there we go. Finally, I came to the NZD pairs. So, as you know, RBNZ kept its interest rate the same today, this morning, this European morning, but as always, they kept they are still concerned about inflation, and they kept the wording that they're ready to jump in. So look, okay, that's all fine. So this is where the New Zealand dollar reacts positively, because again, they're hoping that there's still the RBNZ is not talking about cuts or slowing down, or not slowing down, but just the cuts. So basically, that's good for the currency, and that's what we're seeing here, and that's why traders and investors did enjoy the moment here, enjoy the jumping into the New Zealand dollar against its major counterparts. I'll get to some other pairs here in a bit, but yes, beautiful break of this triangle. I talked about this, guys, yesterday in my morning video. I said to watch out for this because this is quite interesting, and there we go. We broke the triangle. We pushed below the we pushed below my EMAs. We reached my target, which is the 1.0773. We cleared it, and now what's next? The next phase is to consider maybe further declines. Well, at the moment, I want to keep an eye on something around here, actually. Something around this territory, the 1.0694, something like that. Maybe even a little bit higher here. The Friday, the 13th high here of October, near the 1.0705 territory, and then we'll go from there. But for now, long story short, yes, I am leaning still towards the downside as long as we remain below the 1.0773 territory right there. NZDUSD very quickly. So beautiful pop. Look at this amazing move, and look at this beautiful retracement back down. Let me just jump into the 30-minute chart. You can see that yes, it declined, it drifted back down. 1 hour chart, you can see that as well. So it's a nice little correction. But look, everything is going to be right now. We got the news, we got the number from RBNZ. So now the question is what's going to happen here with the with this fella right there, the US dollar, the DXY. Will we see strengthening in there? If so, then we could see NZDUSD, for example, drifting back down a little bit again. So basically, it was kind of more of a momentum trade here on this one. So we captured the momentum. Great. Almost reached my target. My target is around the 0.6225 territory, and then we'll go from there. In terms of the downside, a break of this upside line here, a drop below the 0.6121 here is required in order to go lower. So long story short, that's what I'm gonna keep an eye on, and then we will go from there. So for now, if we do break this upside line and we do fall below this upside line, but we fall below the 0.6121 territory, then yes, I will consider a move lower. For now, if any retracement here is classed as a temporary correction before another possible leg of buying. NZDCHF, a beautiful move here as well. Yesterday I talked about this. I said keep your eyes on this downside line. There we go. We got that pop. One of my targets got reached, the 200-day EMA. Fantastic, good hold up there. I'm still considering further moves north, especially if we do push above the 200-day EMA. So if we can get that push, great. More buyers here could join in. Look, I'm not excluding the possibility of a bit of let's say maybe a corrective move back down, because whenever I will stick to my idea that whenever we get a break of the downside line, or an upside one as well, or in general a trend line, we kind of tend to revisit it from the other side a little bit. So yes, I mean, I'm gonna kind of consider that idea. However, I will scrap that idea if we pop and we stay above the 200-day EMA. And then, yes, I will go a little bit more to the upside. For the downside, well, previously I talked about the 0.53 territory, but I think we can maybe start looking at some lower levels if we do push back below the this downside line. And yeah, if that happens, maybe we could consider a move a little bit to the downside. USDJPY very quickly. So there we go. Beautiful test of my upside support line. Look, I talked about this. I've mentioned that in my analysis here. which I talked about previously. So it's kind of working out. So now my question is, can we see a rebound from this upside line? So basically, can we see something like that? So we got that move, this short-term move. That's great. Yes, the question now is, like, again, we get that rebound. Look, at the moment, yes, I have to say that we have to consider that rebound, because again, the upside line remains intact. However, if this upside line gets broken, then I think that I mean, I have an ambitious move here towards the 141.5 territory, but actually let's keep it short and simple. Probably just target the 200-day EMA together with the 144.61 zone, and then we'll go from there. So long story short, for now, I am kind of still cautiously bullish, but I need a stronger rebound. Ideally, what I need here on this pair is actually a push above this downside line here. And then, yes, maybe, you know, more buyers here could join in, so it could just kind of strengthen that upside scenario. So jumping into USD CAD very quickly. So mission accomplished. We reached my target. My target was the 200-day EMA. I talked about this, and so far, so good. So what's next? Well, again, this 200-day EMA is something that I'm going to be keeping a close eye on. And yes, if we do kind of break and stay below the 200-day EMA, then my next target is the 1.3417. Or maybe even a lower. But at the moment, I just want to see what's going to happen here with the with this 200-day EMA. Can we see a bit of a rebound? If not, then yes, I'll go further. I'll go further south. But if we can at least climb back above this little hurdle here, above this 1.3629, then we could consider a larger correction here to the upside. Now, USDCHF. So again, similar story as with what was it? This one, yes, as with US dollar. So we've drifted nicely to the downside. Look, after we had a nice rally here from reversing higher at the end of July and rallying all the way to the beginning of October, we did quite a decent, retracement already. Look at it, more than 61.8%. So we're kind of we're getting closer to that 78.6. Let's see if we can reach that. But at the moment, I'm not going to focus on the Fibonacci. I'm going to keep an eye on some of my levels. As you can see, this area here, the 0.87, 60, 45 levels are providing good hold up here. And as long as, let's say, if it stays intact, then yes, of course, this could be seen as a strong area of support. Let me just grab a highlighter here. So, oh, somebody likes it this way. Wow. Yes. So there we go. So basically, this is the territory that I'm going to be watching carefully. And as long as we remain above it, then yes, maybe a bit of a retracement here could be possible. But if suddenly we start shifting below this area, well, guess what, guys? More sellers here could join in. Now, jumping into GBPUSD, by the way. So yes, beautiful move. Yesterday I talked about this. Congratulations who managed to, stay positive on this one. And there we go. Look at this move. Look at this spectacular move above the 1.2615. I said that as long as we stay above it, then yes, there is a good chance to see a drift higher, and my next target is the 1.2713, and then maybe 46 here. So we reached one of them, so that's great, wonderful. What's next? Next basically is this, that in order for me to go higher, I need to see a push above the 1.2713 zone. For the downside, I would like to see a break of this upside line. A break of this upside line, and yes, then I know that this is a little bit wide here, but yes, look, I think that any throwback right now here, could still be classed as a temporary correction before another possible leg of buying. So anything up above this upside line could still be classed as a temporary correction before another possible leg of buying. So that's why I need to see a break of this upside line for now, unless something else will start forming here. But at this point, nothing is forming apart from I'm seeing only positivity. GBPNZD. So there we go. Yesterday I've mentioned this when I said to keep your eyes on this triangle pattern, and we got that breakout. There we go through the lower side of it. So yes, I mean, we tested the 200-day EMA. We cleared it as well. So my question is now, can we see a further drift lower? Well, to be honest, the fact that it's now climbing back inside the triangle, my question arises that is it a false breakout, or is it actually something that we'll see like a reversal or something like that. So yeah, for now I would say this way, that a drop below the 200-day EMA is required. If we can get that drop, then yes, I will consider lower levels. For the upside, I need to see a break of the downside line here, and if we can get that break of this downside line and push above all of my EMAs, I mean, then that's wonderful. More buyers here could join in. So EURNZD, look, beautiful as well. What can I say? Beautiful as well, but we're getting a hold up near the 200-day EMA. My question is, can we stay above it? If we can, maybe a bit of a drift back up here could be possible. However, from the short-term perspective, I'm going to consider the upside scenario if we break this downside line right here. Oh, there we go. My lines have loaded up. I haven't looked at EURNZD for quite a while, basically, so I need to get rid of this line. But this so far is doing a good job. This upside support line drawn from the low of the 12th of August of 2022. We do have another upside line, but that's a little bit on the tentative side, but that's for later maybe. But at the moment, look, we did get that kind of, I would say, the test. We got that test. So in a way, if you're looking for some, let's say, lower levels, then you would have to wait for a break of this upside support line drawn from the low of the 12th of August of 2022. And then we could target the, as you can see already, we could target the lowest point of October. Now, in terms of the upside, I think that yes, it's pretty straightforward. A break of this steep downside line is required in order to go higher. Euro USD finally. Now, Daredevil Dave, good morning. Good morning, and happy to see you there in the chat room. So, Euro USD. So, something for you to keep in mind, guys. Today we do have some European and US data, so just watch out for that. For now, look, I mean, we did pop higher. I mean, I talked about this 1.0965 territory, and yes, we moved nicely to the upside. However, we didn't reach my target. That's fine. But I would say this way, as long as we remain above the 1.0965 territory right here, I will continue targeting the upside in order for me to look at some lower levels. Yes, a break of this steep upside line is required, and then we will go from there. So if we break this upside line, then yes, I will consider a move lower here, and then we'll take it from there. So that's kind of it for Euro USD. I mean, it's a little bit on the boring side. I know the Euro USD, but we got that pop yesterday. I talked about this, and if you are in this trade, then probably your stop loss right now is somewhere just slightly above that entry. I mean, if you get tested, you get taken out. Okay, that's fine. I mean, because that's part of the game, but still, it's a good move here. So long story short, I will continue targeting the upside. I'll continue targeting the upside as long as we remain above this 1.0965 territory, and then we'll go from there, guys. So that's it. That's it for this session. I'll have to wrap it up here. Thank you very much for watching and listening. I really appreciate your time, guys, your views, your likes, your comments, everything, yes. So, as always, guys, stay safe, have your stop losses in place, risk only what you can afford to lose, don't overtrade, and everything will be fine. So, thank you very much, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye. Hey there, thank you very much for watching this one till the end. I really appreciate that. So like this video, we speculate your next mouse movement will be towards the subscribe button.